Let's look at the serpent in the Old Testament. Let's go to Genesis. We want chapter 3, and we want 1 through 5. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the tree of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for God knoweth that in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as God, knowing good and evil. Let's go on down 13 through 15. And the Lord God said to the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, This serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Let's go chapter 49, and we want 16 through 18. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an otter in the path, that biteth the horse's heel, so that his rider shall fall backwards. I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Let's go to Exodus chapter 4, and 2 and 3. And the Lord said unto him, What is it in thy hand? And he said, A rod. And he said, Cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground, and it became a serpent, and Moses flee from before it. Let's go to chapter 7, 8 to 15. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and Aaron, saying, When Pharaoh shall speak unto you, saying, Show a miracle for you, then thou shalt say unto Aaron, Take thy rod, and cast it before Pharaoh, and it shall become a serpent. And Moses and Aaron went in unto Pharaoh, and they did so. And the Lord had commanded, and Aaron cast down his rod before Pharaoh, and before his servant, and it became a serpent. And Pharaoh also called his wise men and sorcerers. Now the magicians of Egypt, they also did in like manner with their enchantments. For they cast down every man his rod, and they became serpents. And Aaron's rod swallowed up their rods, and he hardened Pharaoh's heart, that he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord said. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh's heart is hardened. Be refreshed, and let the people go. Get thee unto Pharaoh in the morning, and lo, he goeth out into the water, and thou shalt stand by the river brink against he came. And the rod which thou hast turned into a serpent, thou shalt take in thy hand. Let's go to Numbers 21, and we want 8 and 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, Take thee a fiery serpent, and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that every one that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. And Moses made a serpent of brass, and put it upon a pole. And it came to pass that if a serpent had bitten any man, then he beheld the serpent of the brass, he lived. Let's go to 2 Kings, chapter 18 and verse 4. And he removed the high places, and broke the images, and cut down the groves, and broke in pieces the bathing serpent that Moses had made. For unto these days the children of Israel did burn incense unto it, and he called it Nehasaphan. Let's go to Job chapter 26, and we want 12 through 14. And he divided the sea with his power, and by his understanding he smiteth through the proud. By his spirit he hath garnished the heavens, his hands hath formed the crooked serpent. Lo, those are parts of his ways, but how little a portion is heard of him, but the thunder of his power, who can understand? Let's go to Psalms. We want 58, and we want 4 and 5. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like a deaf otter that stoppeth her ear, which will not hearken to the voice of the chambers, charming never so wisely. Let's go to 140, and we want 2 through 5. Which imagine mischief in their heart continually, are they gathered together for war? They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. An otter's poison is under their lips, Selah. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man, who hath poisoned to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, the cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set game for me, Selah. Let's go to Proverbs 23 and 32. At the last it bit like a serpent, and stung like an otter. Let's go to chapter 30, 18 and 19. There be 3 things which are too wonderful for me, yea, 4 which I know not: the way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of man with a maid. Let's go to Ecclesiastes and chapter 10, 8 through 11. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whosoever breaketh an hedge, a serpent shall bite him. Whosoever removeth stone shall be hurt wherewith, and he that covereth wood shall be in danger thereby. If the iron be blunt, and he do not weight the edge, then must he put it more strength. But wisdom is profitable to direct. Surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a blubber is no better. Go to Isaiah 14:29. Rejoice not thou, O Pelincia, because the rod of him that smote thee is broken. For out of the serpent's rod shall come forth a cockatrice, and the fruit shall be a fiery flying serpent. Let's go to 27, verse 1. In that day the Lord, with his sore and great and strong sword, shall punish Leviathan, the piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, and he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea. Let's go to chapter 30 and verse 6. The burden of the beast of the south unto the land of the trouble and anguish, from whence came the young and the old lion, the viper and the fiery flying serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of the young ass, and their treasures upon the branches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. Let's go to Jeremiah 46:22. The voice thereof shall go like a serpent, for they shall march with an army, and come against her with axes, as hewers of wood. Let's go to Amos, chapter 5, 18 and 19. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord! To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkened, and not light, as if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him, or went into the house, and learned his hands on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Let's go to chapter 9 and we want 2 through 4. Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. Though they climb up to heaven, hence will I bring them down. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence I will command the serpent, and he shall bite them. And though they go into captivity before their enemies, hence I will command the sword, and it shall slay them. And I will set my eyes upon them for evil and not for good. And the Lord God of hosts, it is he that toucheth the land, and it shall melt, and all the dwelling therein shall mourn, and it shall rise up wholly like a flood, and shall be drowned as the flood of Egypt. Let's go to Micah. We want 7 and 17. They shall lick the dust like a serpent. They shall move out of their holes like a worm of the earth. They shall be afraid of the Lord our God, and shall fear because of thee. In the strongest concordance is 5175, a snake. 5172, whisper, a magic spell, clearly divine enchantment, learned by experience, indeed, diligently observe.